So this morning we went to Bob's Donut Shop. Excited? Here, Owen. You want to sit at the end? And then we went into Old Fort, which is near the campground and about a half an hour away from Asheville, about 20 minutes away from Asheville. Gonna check out Owen, and we're just checking out the town of Old Fort, which is nice because it's just outside of Asheville. Little small town, but you're close enough to the city where you can go in. And right now we are at the train. There's like a little train depot and there's a bunch of murals, so we're gonna go into town and check that out. So some of you don't know who Bus Life NZ is. I'll put their link down below. They're a channel that they're in New Zealand and they have a school bus converted it. They have 2 small children. They're about a year younger than Jack and Owen. Been watching them since we bought the bus. It's just something that we like. I really clicked with that channel, and we've been watching it since day one. And about, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, maybe a whole year, we became Patreons. And your Patreons, you get a whole bunch of channels have Patreons. It's pretty much like a service. You can do $5, $10, $20, $50 a month, depending on how much you want to do. And you get different things for those, for giving that money. They came to the United States and they said they're Patreons. They have meetups in certain cities. Luckily we got a message on where our meetup was the night before at like 10 o'clock. We was like sweating that one because the campsite we had didn't have internet access and I couldn't get to my email, and that's how I get to my Patreon stuff. So I was like really sweating it, but we got it. It was this cute little park in Asheville, or outside of Asheville, I guess closer to Black Mountain. And they had a like a bike. There's a specific name for it, Kevin could tell you. A bike, it's like banked track, and then so we were watching the bikes go, and then they have a bridge that goes over it, and then they have a whole bunch of playgrounds and hockey fields and all different stuff on the inside. So this is like the biggest playground I've ever seen, and it was like the old school wooden castle one. So the kids played for hours. Bus Life NZ, they rented a car that didn't have a GPS in it, or like they couldn't give them a car that had a GPS in it, so they got lost. So they were a little late, but we met a woman and her husband from Ohio. We met people from all over that were coming to see them. You know, they follow them too, and they're Patreons, and they came to see them too. So it was really cool to meet them and talk to them. Then finally the Bus Life people came. Andy, Amber, Jake, and Daisy, and the kids just went off and played, and we talked, and they just, you know, about the United States and our buses and all sorts of different things. We talked for like almost 2 hours. It was pretty long. It was supposed to be like an hour long, and then they got there late, so we were there for a full 3 hours. So the kids were just like running around crazy for, at least Jack was, for 3 hours. And now we're in Asheville to look around and get some food. The Yellow Brick Road, Jackie! We walked around Asheville for quite some time. We did some shopping, it was the craziest and busiest I've ever seen Asheville. I don't know if it's because kids were going back into college and so their parents were up in Asheville for the weekend. I don't know if it's like the end of summer and that's why we had a whole bunch of people just trying to get that last little trip in before school starts, but it was crazy. It took us like a half an hour to park. It's all sorts of traffic. Walking traffic was insane. I've never seen it that busy in Asheville ever. Then we went back to our campsite and we played in the creek for hours. To go down the street. It was about a half a mile away from our campsite and it was Catawba Falls. So we went to go check that out. And it's a great hike. It's 3 miles like to the falls and back. So it's about a mile and a half. Jackie, crazy. The kids didn't take naps. And they made it about a mile up. And Owen didn't complain. Owen was having fun, but Jackie started complaining. So we had to carry him a little bit. Kevin almost brought him back. We hit a bunch of little waterfalls along the way and there was an old dam. So we got to a point where I was like, okay, you guys, you take him back. Like, I can't listen to this anymore. He's complaining. And I knew he was tired. It was a long, long day. I mean, 3 hours straight and then running around on the playground and then Asheville and then playing in the brook and there was little friends at the campground. So they were playing with them. So I was like, okay, fine, take him back. They started to leave. We started to keep hiking, and about 30 more feet there was the dam, which we thought was the waterfall, but it was actually the dam. So then I had to run back after them, run down the trail, find them, bring them back up, and then we decided to just suck it up and all go on out together because we were almost to the waterfall. It was totally worth it. We get up there, and there was like 2 couples, younger, in their 20s. And Megan and I are like, we're taking pictures. So we're off to the side. We weren't trying to get in the way of their pictures. So we were off to the side taking pictures. And then I turn around and realize the guy's trying to propose because they were looking at us. And I was like, you've been in front of this waterfall for 20 minutes. Like, it's our turn. We can take pictures now. Because it was just like that opportune spot to take pictures that I realized he was totally proposing to her. And we were jerks. We were in the way. So I motioned to Megan. I got the kids out of the way because they were probably taking video and maybe pictures as well, but probably videos. We're like, Megan's just like gabbing in the background. So we got out of their way. We went up a little farther, took some pictures. Then it started to like really rain. Came back down. We were like, we're sorry, but congratulations. And so we took pictures of them as a full group in front of, so they had some memories. And then we went back down. Just went home. I made some amazing, so it's just the frozen meatballs, barbecue sauce, whatever kind you want. You could make it spicy, could not, and pineapple. Cut it up and just put it in a bag, and I put it in the bag before we left, so it was kind of marinating for like a day or two, and then and we put it over rice. It's amazing. It's my new favorite meal. So we just ate that, started to watch like half a movie, and passed out. And the next morning we just got up, had a casual breakfast, walked around, cleaned up, and then headed back home.